What's up, everybody? I hope everyone's doing well. I'm doing pretty good. I've been working out a little more, playing a little bit more handball. Not so much handball, a lot more like two wall, but still getting in some games. A lot of big ball too and stuff like that. But it's just different versions of handball, so it's been good. I've been kind of staying in better shape than how I was a while ago. Okay, so the WPH asked me to do like a rapid fire questions, and I'm gonna give them a shot. Okay, so the first couple questions are: how did you get started in handball? How old were you? And when did you really become serious, dedicate yourself to handball? So I got started because my grandfather played, and then from my grandfather, he passed it on to my father, and then our father wouldn't make us play. He wouldn't like he would take us to the country club. He wouldn't really make us play, but he would always take us there. So we were watching and didn't really push us or anything to get in the court, but we just kind of ended up, I guess, finding interest in it. We played racquetball for maybe the first week. I think we borrowed some rackets, and then after that we kind of just asked my dad for some of his old gloves and a ball, and then we started playing like that. It was my brother, my uncle, and I. We all started at the same time, and I was 11 years old. I don't know if I had answered that. There's a bug right there. Oof, missed. And then, see the next question. What sports, if any, did you play seriously before playing handball? When I was 11, I was playing probably like maybe flag football, and I guess I was like on a team with school, and then I actually went to a different like a club team, I guess, outside of school with the friends that were pretty good and stuff. And then there was like a year or two that I actually played with. Here's the bug still. Then again, with my brother. That was pretty cool. We just happened to be on the same team. He was really good. He was a good chunk older, and I took a while to like grow like my body, and he was pretty big for like a 13-year-old. So he was our top player for sure. Let's see. Can you describe the Lake Forest College handball experience? It was very unique, unexpected as well for me, because I didn't think that there was any sort of collegiate handball, organization at all. So when I found out that I could actually play for a college and play for a team, and found out that there was colleges or universities that had full teams, 24 players and stuff like that, that was really exciting for me. So it was a really cool opportunity. Coach Zhao was a great coach. He taught me a bunch of just good work ethic for sure. And while I was there, I was able to just play a lot. Our dorm was maybe a 3-minute walk from the courts, and it was a really nice facility. The year that I got there, the courts had been like, they did a little renovating. I don't know how much, but I know that the lighting used to be really bad and stuff like that. But when I got there, everything was perfect. I had no complaints. And, having a team, CJ Laffey was there, Eric Mariasek, Matt Chu, a bunch of just people that actually started playing in college that were very athletic, because Coach Zhao was also like a football coach. He was a running back coach, so he would always just bring in like good athletes. So if they were football players, some that maybe didn't make it, or it was off season for football and he wanted to keep them in shape, he would bring them to play handball, and that was really cool. So I don't know, there's a ton of stories that I could tell for sure from Lake Forest, but to keep it kind of brief, it was a lot of fun. I'd recommend anyone who has the opportunity to go to a college and play for a team, do it, because I don't know, it's a pretty cool experience for sure. Let's see. Next question. Who are your inspirations to become a Race for 8 pro? That's tough. Inspirations. I guess when becoming a Race for 8 pro was like within sight, when I was actually like going for it, I was pretty close. I always played for fun. My brother and I always played just for fun. We never really practiced. We would just go and mess around and play competitively for sure against each other, but it was never a sort of like train for this, and our goal was never to get into the race for 8. You know, we always just enjoyed it, and then we realized that we were really good, and we had an opportunity. And when I was in college, my brother was starting to qualify, so maybe that was, you know, what inspired me, just seeing him qualify and meeting a bunch of the top players because of him, and talking to Dave Chapman, and that might have been one of the things. I remember my brother was starting to qualify, and he got some shirts with his name on his name on the shirt and stuff like that, and he's like, here, like, just wear some of mine. I'm like, no, like, I want to get my own shirts. I'm not gonna wear like any of your shirts until I get my own. And that was I just specifically remember that. I don't know why. It was just a feeling. Maybe it helped push me to get into the top 8, or get shirts with my name on the back. Let's see. Who were your favorite pros to watch as a junior player, and why? Dave Chapman for sure. How his just strategy and overall handball game was very different than anyone else, especially even when he came back, you know, because when he was playing a while ago, when I hadn't even started to play, the game was so different. Not a lot of people hit it that hard. The ball was a little different and stuff like that. And then he took, I don't know how many years off. It was at least 4 or 5 years, maybe more. And then came back, and the game had kind of evolved. Like, the ball was different. Everyone was like hitting it really hard. Just the whole strategy changed, and he came in with his old strategy, you know, kind of just placing everything and not hitting it hard. And he went straight into the top 3 right away too, which was crazy impressive. Another player that inspired me, or that I would like to watch as a junior, was, I think, Paul Brady. Obviously, he's a machine. It was always fun to watch his games. Marco Chavez, his style always attracted me for some reason. He just has these weird 3-wall shots and stuff like that, so I really liked his game. That's about it. That's the ones I could think of right now. Then, was there a moments that inspired you in handball? Specific moments that inspired me. That's a tough one. I think I've always just had the love for the game, which has been more than enough to keep pushing me to like keep going, and my competitiveness as well. I can't think of a specific moment that inspired me. That's a tough question. These are really tough questions. Yeah, no, I can't think of a specific moment. Who has been your most influential person and or coach in handball, and what important lessons has she taught you? There's been a lot of people. I'm definitely someone who learns, who tries to take the best attributes from certain players and tries to implement them into my game. So every time that I go to a tournament, no matter if they're C players, B players, A players, or open players, I'm always observing kind of, and sometimes I see a shot that works and that's good, and I try to replicate it. So, yeah, I mean, I just take a little bit from everyone. Yeah, there's not someone specific. All right, so your game seems to be a hybrid of Nadia Alvaro Jr. and Luis Moreno. Was there players after whom you modeled your game? Yeah, I guess that for sure kind of goes back to the previous question, where they were for sure, you know, two of my favorite players. I didn't mention them when I was talking about who I enjoyed watching as a junior, but Nadi Jr. and Luis Moreno have a certain style that is appealing. So just by seeing them, I naturally sometimes make their movements or just pick up something. Like, I remember when I was junior, even Sam Cass, I don't know if you guys know him, but he was a good junior player. He would lift his arms when he was going to go get a back wall shot, and I thought that was intriguing. And then when I went and did it, and all of a sudden I started hitting good back wall shots, I was like, oh, this works. So I don't know. Yeah, taking things from everyone. But yeah, most of my games, I definitely agree that I have some, like when I see Luis Moreno, we have some similarities, and that's because I copy them from him. Who are your toughest rivals on the tour, and what makes playing them so difficult? On the tour, yeah, Killian Carroll's toughest rival. His endurance, his shot selection. He's very comfortable now. He has a lot of confidence, so he changes the pace of the shots. He's the toughest, and I guess my brother's one of the most difficult too, because we know each other's game so well that it's really, we can anticipate our shots. So I get that extra maybe half second to run towards where he's gonna hit the shot, and it makes a huge difference because we're making gets that other people don't usually pick up. So he'll get some of the shots that I don't usually see people pick up, and same for for him. So we always just beat each other up. That's why I would say he's also one of my toughest rivals. Emmett Pickshot, his style always bothers me for some reason. I don't know what it is. He's a smart player. He knows where to, he knows where to, like, what positions to put me in for me to just make mistakes and stuff like that. He's a good player. Who has been your most satisfying moment? What has been your most satisfying moment in handball? Either a win or something off the court. The most satisfying moment in handball, I would say, man, there's a lot, but one of the times that I felt the most, like, I guess, relief or pressure off was when I won my last year's collegiate tournament. Martin Mulcairns and I were both seniors. We had met each other in the final every year, and he had beat me the first 3 years. So on the fourth year, both our senior years, I got him, and that was probably just a huge weight off my shoulders. Just something that you think about so much, and that's what I was in college for. Like, that's what I was training for, and getting beat 3 times was really tough. So taking that fourth year win was really cool, and both my parents were there. I mean, my coach Mike Dow was there. All my teammates were there. That was really cool. That was special. That was in Portland. What has been your most difficult match on the Race 48 tour? Either because it was a tough loss, exhausting, etc. Every time I lose, for sure. Not every time I lose, but when I lose to people that I know I should beat, those are always the toughest for me. And those are also, in a way, kind of good for me, because it really makes me, it really pushes me. It really just lights a fire, and it makes me want to come back and train, and it makes me, because I'm one of the people that it's really hard for me to keep the motivation to, like, train and to just keep pushing myself. So sometimes when I'm doing well and I win and I'm doing, decent or good, I come back and I don't really push myself as much. So that's why when I look at players who are at number one, like right now, Killian and Paul Brady when he was there, and Dave Chapman when he was there, and I really admire how they can stay motivated being the number one, and how, like, if they keep winning, what's motivating them? Like, I'm really curious to know, because it's really hard to just stay on that track of intensity. And what I think it is they just have really long-term goals. Like, I know Paul Brady wanted to be the best ever, so for him to win, a tournament is like nothing. It's just a little step in his overall plan. So I think that's what it is, but I'm not sure. It's really interesting. You have won 3 Race for 8 titles. Which of the 3 has meant the most to you, and why? I think, well, that's tough. Probably Portland, because it was just a tougher draw. It wasn't I don't think that was my first one, but that I had to be like Killian, and then who did I play? I don't know. In Portland, for some reason, that's where I won my collegiates. It's kind of becoming like a special court for me, for several reasons. I always have good tournaments there, but the one in Atlanta was really cool too, just because That's my hometown, and I didn't expect to win that time because my shoulder was kind of messed up from Toledo, and I'm pretty sure that's the year I won. I have terrible memory, but that was unexpected, so that was really cool. So I would say Atlanta, yeah. And I beat my brother in the final, which was also pretty special. Okay, so what advice do you have for the next generation of players hoping to join you on the Race 48 tour? Go to as many tournaments as you can. Travel like to as many tournaments as you can. That's the best way to improve. At least that's how it was for me. You know, seeing different players, like I was talking about, you start to copy some of their shots or just integrate some of their game into yours, and that's the best way. And playing different people in these tournaments is the best thing for someone who's trying to get into the top 8 or you know, trying to get ranked. That's my advice. Okay, next section is a little different. It says word association, one word or phrase that comes to mind. Lucho. Competitive and never takes any game not seriously, I guess. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't not necessarily have to be in handball. It could be anything. He's always very focused. Katrina, consistency and freaking training, you know, like from her motivation. That's another thing that I would like to know, like what motivates her, because she's always training. She's very consistent. Chapman, patience and intelligence, you know, on the court and off the court. Brady, it's a machine. Ton of strength from just his great timing. You know, even though he doesn't look super buff, he's really strong. And you can see he has really strong legs too. But his like movement and his timing throughout his swing is perfect. So he really just hits the ball hard. It looks effortless too. Coach Dow, a ton of experience and just knowledge, and really kind too. Patient. There's a lot of words that I could use to describe Coach Dow, but really cool person. Lake Forest was that's a tough one. Other than really cold, unique, I guess, really small college. There was only about 2,600 students. Yeah, so unique. There we go. Okay, cool. I just finished. That was all. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone who's watching. Hopefully the tournaments can get started back up soon. Hopefully everyone's staying safe. Just stay, you know, don't meet up with a ton of people. Just, I don't know, just be careful, cautious, I guess, think of others. And hopefully you guys have a court to play in, you know, keep practicing. And because I was really rusty after 4 months of not playing. I also want to thank the WPH, and something that I don't usually do that I should do that I'm gonna do right now is thank some of my sponsors, which is Lance Wackles, who's from Atlanta. He's supported me for a long time. MRT, Motor Race Tire. There's some guys that are helping me out with a little sponsorship. Overland Vehicle Systems, which is they're also giving me a little sponsorship on the side. Brian Glotzbeck, which is my physical therapist in Atlanta. He's a really awesome dude and has been helping me out. The WPH, and I think that's it. So cool. Appreciate you guys for checking out, I guess, and being interested in what I have to say. Cool. Bye.